I'm back, bitches. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the sound of Aaron Taylor. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have returned. Don't know whether it's a temporary or permanent measure. Don't get too excited, but I am back. I expect the chat to go mental with one comment. So, yeah, anyway, it's nice to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are here for round 16 of TUF in Suzuka for Division 1. We've got 8.5 minutes left of the qualifying session. I'd like to welcome you all along to the stream, and hopefully we will enjoy a good race. Joining me tonight, we have a very special guest. It is somebody that you guys may not be aware of, but it's a good friend of mine. His name is Michael, aka Waver's Revenge. So welcome along, Michael. Thank you for joining me, mate.
Thanks, man. Yeah, good to be here. Yeah, it's looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be fun, mate.
This one, isn't it? Yeah.
It is indeed. It is indeed. We have some very interesting things to talk about this evening. Well, just quickly as we start off, we're just on board with Fuzzer, who is our current championship leader. I believe he's just about to finish a flying lap, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he is, and he goes pole with a 128.9. There we go. So Fuzzer currently leads the championship from Dobby by 1 point. So at round 16, we've only got a handful of races left, and he is the man to beat at the moment. But with a good result tonight, it could put Dobby in a very commanding position. So the unpredictability of a track like Suzuka, anything can happen. We saw that in last night's race. Unfortunately, that was kind of hindered with safety car glitches and just erratic driving, but we'll move on from that swiftly. But yeah, so with regards to the lineup tonight, we have 17 people in. We have the likes of Good Aids, Shone, Sao Paulo and Funky all missing for the thing that had the most noticeable absentees. There might be some more, and I apologise if I've forgotten you. You're just slightly less important than the rest of them. But no, anyway, we've got some reserve drivers in as well, some Division 2 drivers, so it should be a nicely contested race this evening. So 6.5 minutes left of the session, and I'll move on from somebody from Fuzzer as we go on board with Beast Move, who's making a return tonight in his Ferrari. Michael, what's your views on Suzuka as a circuit?
Well, lots of things happened on Suzuka. Cross Senna, that was in real life, of course. But I quite like the circuit. We were talking before, weren't we? I quite like this. I'm just on board myself with Woods, because I was looking at why he's gone with the soft tyre, as everyone else has gone with the super soft. But that first corner is quite a nice fourth, fifth corner. I quite like that. Yeah, I like this circuit. A lot of high-speed corners.
It should be fun. The S's tend to prove quite difficult at times. That can also be the victim of some bad accidents and some mishaps. Very important to have a front wing for this circuit, with the amount of twisty, turny corners that there are, which is why I'm never any good at it, because I've never got a front wing. So no, it should be an interesting one tonight. As we currently stand, we've got 5.5 minutes left of the session. We've got some familiar faces up the top. We've also got Napler in third, who's had an excellent qualifying so far. So I would expect the positions to jumble about a little bit more. Lennon's had a good start already, up in P7. And for anybody that is unaware, the person named Anastoli, or whatever it's called, that is John. Unfortunately, had some issues with his account, so he is now, that will still be John. So if you ever refer to him and you don't understand what I'm talking about, that will be John. So yes, it should be shaping up to be quite a interesting end to the championship. We both know that Fuzzer and Dobby are extremely quick drivers. Fuzzer, as we know, well established in this league. He's always finding himself there or thereabouts every race. Pubster, and he's come to a little bit of form. I must apologise for my comments in my last commentary about the issue with Pubster Randy, but again, we'll glide over that. So yeah, it should be quite an interesting one this evening. So fingers crossed, we are in for a good race, and there is not too many glitches or issues or retirements. Hopefully the league can have a nice positive result this evening.
I'm just on board with Sever at the moment. Catch up Fuzzer. It's quite smooth coming through the corner, actually. Although he did correct himself a couple of corners ago, so I don't know if this is going to be a fast lap.
No, we'll see. I think he's just put in quite a good time there, with a 129.3. Finds himself in second. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think he took the win on debut last night in Division 2 as well. I could be wrong. I was pretty much half asleep when watching it. That had nothing to do with the stream itself, purely on the fact of I was very tired. And I must also say, Michael, that we are, not to give too much away, but it might be slightly different circumstances at the start of this race to what we are seeing now, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, just to jump in, Sever's backed out of that lap. So,
yeah. That's all good. Yeah, I think we'll find out. Everybody at the moment is all in the pits or on out laps. This is at the point where they're changing over, lowering the fuel down to the bare minimum, putting on a fresh set of tyres and going for that last flying lap. So we should see some jumbled up positions on the grid. I think Whiskey has just started a flying lap. I could be wrong.
A couple of drivers haven't posted a time just yet, so...
No, J Bob and NR, I mean, it could be down to penalties. Sometimes some of the guys have qualifying bans. Unfortunately, I'm unaware of whether anybody does or not, but filling in at late notice for Shay. Unfortunately, he got a bit caught up and tied up with work and so on, so I offered my services. So I hope people don't get too excited, because I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing yet or not.
0.02 of a second between third and second.
Yeah. Oh, very good spot. Glad you're right.
Yeah, very close between 6th and 7th as well.
And 11th and 12th.
And 5th. Wow, yeah, it's really close.
Yeah, it's very close indeed. I think, who am I on board with? Whisket's run wide onto the gravel. I think he's pulled out of his lap here, he has. So what we're going to do, we're going to take an on board with Napola, I think, because he's had an extremely good qualifying so far, which is nice to see. Got a lot of time for Napola, so let's hope he can put it out the bag and improve on his time. He finds himself 4/10 off of third place at the moment, so he does need to improve, because I think his position is going to come under threat from those behind him. We've got some very quick guys there. Ox I would imagine to improve significantly. Josh McGill being another one as well. So yeah, this could be quite interesting. Napola is currently on an out lap actually as we speak. Who are you on board with, Michael?
I'm on board with Pagani at the moment.
Pagani, yeah.
He's on an out lap. He's only just began it though, so won't be getting much information back from him. Oh, Woods has just gone off.
Woods
just gone on board with Woods. And he's gone off in the first sector, yeah, sector 1.
Oh dear, was it on the S's?
I literally just flicked over and he was on the grass. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. It does look like it.
He did go on the grass as well when he was on the soft tyre before he went to the super soft. So I don't know if he's got a setup issue maybe or something. I don't know.
I think what some of the guys do is some people qualify on the slightly harder tyre, just to obviously go for a slightly different strategy to those in front of them.
He just tried to get the car back round and it just went off again. I don't know what's happening. Oh, there's been a crash. Someone went into the back of someone else. It's Napola with John.
Yeah, it says he's got a 0 place grid penalty, which is a bit strange.
What's the point in having as that Codemasters?
Exactly. Codemasters being Codemasters, almost as bad as EA. There we go, Napola's driven off. But let's not talk about EA, let's not ruin our evening. So, qualifying is now finished. We have pretty much most of the guys on circuit finishing off their fastest laps, or their final laps before the race starts. Do you want to keep an eye on Seva, and I'll keep an eye on Pubster Andy? And I won't keep an eye on Pubster Andy. Pubster Andy's done for the day.
Oh, Seva's gone off. Yep, he's on the grass. He's not going to be improving his time. I think he might clip the wall as well, just as I flicked over.
So what I'm going to do, commentator's curse. I've taken it on board with Ox. There we go. So Ox has moved up to P5, and R's moved up to P4. So it looks like, unless there's some significant improvements behind.
Yeah, Seva and Pubster have retired from the session, so looking at George and Josh, perhaps.
Yeah, they're the two guys there. both very quick drivers, those two. So let's hope they can improve on their qualifying laps.
Fuzz just set a new fastest lap. Just to cement his pole, I think.
Yeah, he's a man on a mission tonight, I think. Oh, there we go. Josh McGill's gone second.
Improved his time by a whole second. Wow.
And look who's behind him, George. So
yeah, wow.
They've gone
Great
from
laps.
Yeah, very close as well, actually. Very close indeed.
Yeah, 200 to the second. Wow.
Wow. So Napola, as we said, and Corey's gone up to P9 as well. So good effort from Corey. So yeah, as we saw earlier on, we said Napola was in P4. And in a matter of about a minute, he's now moved down to P10. So it just shows the variety. Yeah. One thing to point out as well is Lennon, who's Steffo in this, and Pagani have both had some horrendous luck in this championship. They seem to have anything bad that could have happened in this championship seems to have all gone their way. So we need to be rooting for them tonight to make sure they get a fairly decent result. And hoping and praying to God they can finish in the points with no issues.
I think that's it now, isn't it? No more,
no
more on circuit.
So we've got 40 seconds left, so I'll quickly run through. So we've got Fuzzer taking pole with Josh McGill occupying the other place on the front row. We've got George Ellis in P3 and Sever in 4th. And then on the third row we've got the two Americans, Pubster Andy and NR. And then in 7th we've got Oxox, followed by Whiskey in P8. We've got Corey in P9 and Napola rounding off the final position in the top 10. Then we have got B Smooth and John occupying 11th and 12th, with Lennon and Pagani, who are all too familiar with one another, in 13th and 14th. We've got Woods down in 15th, alongside Katamise, and then J Bob in 17th, who has not set a time. I would imagine that might be something to do with possibly a qualifying ban. So perfect timing. That concludes qualifying, and now the drivers, as I always say, will be preparing themselves for the start of the race. Adjusting their setups accordingly if they can, and thinking about running seconds to go. What do you think is going to be going through the drivers' heads at the moment, Michael?
Fuzzer 5/10 ahead, I think he'll be quite confident, but those 2 laps by Josh and George at the end, I think he'll be very pleased with that.
Yeah, they will.
Last lap, wasn't it? Really, probably going to be pumped, those two.
Yeah, should be a good battle. We've got some good guys on track tonight who will hopefully provide some very good wheel-to-wheel racing. We saw some good moves last night through Sector 1, through the S-bends, people going side by side through there. And there we go. Raining. There is a surprise. We have the heavy rain at the start of the race. So,
here we go.
Will it dry up towards the end? Only time will tell, but it should throw a spanner in the works. It's going to prove very difficult for some of the guys as the race begins, especially going for that first sector with a heavy car of all that fuel on board. Look at me talking like I know what I'm talking about. It's great. But yeah, so listen.
Put the cat amongst the pigeons this weather, hasn't it?
It certainly has. So, although I don't think many pigeons will be out in this weather. But yeah, anyway, right. Do you want to skip down to maybe sort of 10th, 11th place on the grid, and just kind of watch what happens in the middle and with the leaders as we go into 3 lights, 4, 5 lights. And we are away in Suzuka. Looks like it's a good start there from Josh McGill. Pulled away nicely, he gets himself alongside Fuzzer, George Alice behind. Going side by side into turn 1. Always contact, Josh McGill's gone. Josh has gone.
There's another one gone off as well from McLaren. Cut the corner, he's still on the grass.
Another McLaren, who's that? I think that might be Lennon. Napola's down in P17.
Now in the Ferrari.
Yeah, she's got a couple of guys that have a really poor start. George Alice has dropped down to P7. NR's gone 4 places up into P2. She's had a brilliant start. Josh McGill all the way down in last place. Him and Fuzzer just got alongside each other too much, unfortunately, and clipped one another. Fuzzer's pulled away in the race. It's a shame Good Age isn't racing tonight. We know he loves the wet weather. So I'm sure he will be gutted about that. Unfortunately, he's not here. So yeah, good start from Fuzzer and NR so far.
Oh, they've been in contact at the back. There's a Ferrari behind Steffo. Is it Josh? Definitely had contact with someone. I think they're still okay though.
Oh, there's somebody in the wall. Sever is in the wall.
Sever's out.
Sever has gone.
Sever is out, yeah.
One thing we failed to mention is that Dobby, who is Fuzz's closest rival, is down in P17. So he started from the back of the grid.
I didn't see him in the qualifying.
I think he might have joined the session.
Joined late.
Yeah, I think he might have joined late, so we've completely forgotten about Dobby. So will he show some real championship winning credentials in this race? So
I'm looking at Dobby now.
Oh, we've got a Haas who's got, oh dear.
Right, second penalty. There's been a,
Pubster Andy. It is Pubster Andy. Pub's gone. He's in P17. I don't think he's out. No, he's not. He's lost all of his front wing though. So Pubster Andy has lost it. So I think it's through that. I've forgotten what it's called now, but that little swift left turn off after the long straight towards the final chicane is going to be proven to be very difficult in the wet weather.
Stefano is also in the pits as well. Don't know if he had any damage. So.
Essentially, yeah. So, okay, so we've had quite a few position changes so far. Woods has had an excellent start up into P6. He's made up 8 places. Whisket's made up 5 places. We have a virtual safety car out as well at the moment. So, with all of those issues, it's given the guys a chance to just get themselves together. It looks like we're back underway now, though, as we've got Fuzzer under some heavy pressure from NR, who finds himself 3 tenths away. So I'm going to keep an eye on board with this battle at the moment. We'll stay on board with NR for a second.
Bobby's about half a second behind J-Bob at the moment. He's trying to find a way around him, but he's trying to get close enough. Obviously no DRS, but... Oh, yeah, someone's gone off.
It's Pagani. Pretty sure it's Pagani.
Yeah, the Renault.
Can tell by the arrows as they come further down. Pagani's, what's he done? Has he lost his wing? Completely lost his wing, unfortunately.
I only saw him because I'm watching Dobby, and yeah, he's just in the background, just went off straight into the wall.
Yeah, we've got Dobby right out the back of J-Bob now.
Should have the pace, no.
Corey's retired. What's happened to Corey? Oh no, he's lost it. Can someone in the who's watching the race please tell me the name of that little left turn right at the end of the circuit? I've completely forgotten. I know it's something to do with numbers, but that's about as much as my knowledge will go, unfortunately. So Corey is out. So awful result for Corey so far. I've seen a few incidents as Dobby's made up 5 places into P13, so he's capitalising on the mistakes from people here. Really, really sad to see.
They're now just half a second behind Fuzzer at the moment.
Yeah, looks like they're keeping the battle going. 130R, there we go. Thank you very much to Charged and to Chris Logan. 130R is the name of that little left before the final chicane. Thank you.
On that corner then. He took up a little bit of grass, I think. But he seems right.
Okay, so I'm just on board with a little battle here for P5. We've got John in 5th with Beast Move in 6th, who's having a little look around the outside, and that's opening the gap for Katamise to try and get alongside Beast Move. So we've got a nice little battle going on here. Looks like it's the closest battle on track at the moment, aside from Dobby. So for the guys that are watching the stream, as I always like to ask, please give your early predictions for the final 3. I know it's going to be very difficult. But is there anybody that you fancy to win this race and any upsets possibly? Please pop them inside the stream chat and I shall read them out and we can discuss this. But from early form it would look like Fuzzer and NR are going to have quite a closely contested battle for the vast majority of the race. Just hope that Fuzzer doesn't lag out, as what Katami's taken a really late dive on B Smooth there. Let's just on board. Yeah, 100%. Any wing damage for the guys there? Doesn't look like it, they've all got the wings intact. So as Katami's is going very closely to the back of B Smooth, going into turn 1. And oh dear, so Katami's is gone. Is he going to save it? Yes, he is. But he's going to allow Josh McGill to close the gap.
There's something developing in 9th and 10th with Napoli.
Yeah, I'm just on board with that now.
And these two, very close to contact, I think, between Woods and Josh.
Yeah, there we go.
Josh and Nate, yeah.
Whoa, we just had some lag there.
Something happened to Fuzzer.
Fuzzer has lagged out.
Lagged out, yeah.
Yeah, so it always tends to happen.
Well, this is interesting. Is he going to get back in time for when Dobby catches up that computer car? Those two are a point of separating them, aren't they? In the championship.
So what we'll do is we'll go on board with Fuzzer and just see. He normally rejoins and it takes him about 30 seconds to get back into his car. So I think he's going to find himself down, probably in and around Dobby as it currently stands. Although he's got about a 5-second gap to be smooth, well, that's going to come down very quickly. But the thing he's got working to his advantage is the fact that it is in the wet weather, so people aren't going to be catching him as quickly. And now there's a virtual safety car.
Virtual safety car, yeah.
So if anything, for Fuzzer, this is
going to help Fuzzer, yeah.
Oh, massively. Yeah, yeah.
Really going to help him there. Dobby's done what he can only do. He's up to 11th, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, just seeing there we go. Fuzzer's just rejoined. So it might be not too bad for Fuzzer actually. He might have got away with this. It always seems to happen to him at least once. But the fortunate thing is the fact of obviously we have the virtual safety car out and it's wet weather, so the AI car, we're driving his car through the wet weather, so which isn't really going to affect him too much. We've got Beast Moves close the gap a little bit, but nothing too strenuous. So I would imagine Fuzzer will be back in his car soon and he can carry on with his day. So he's not too far away from the pack, which I'm sure he's going to be quite happy about. There we go, Fuzzer's back in his car.
Yep, the virtual safety car's gone now, so
perfect timing for him, so he's a lucky man.
Yeah. Dobby's 3.5 seconds behind that fella, so
okay.
He's much down the field at the moment.
Yeah, so Lennon and Pagani right down to the bottom of the order. We've got 2 retirements so far in the shape of Corey and Sever. So very unfortunate for those guys. We've got NR leading the Grand Prix, George Alice in 2nd and Ox in 3rd. So nothing too much to shout about. We've had a couple of little incidents here and there so far, but nothing too over the top, I would imagine. The big question is, Michael, do you think we will see a safety car this evening?
I think we will, yeah.
Do you?
It's raining, and look at the gaps between 7th and 10th.
Yes.
3 seconds between them.
Just on board of Woods now as he's getting into the slipstream, so to cut you off, in going to 130R. Is he going to be able to hold it? Yes, he does. Eases off very sensibly. Oh, someone's gone, I think.
3 seconds penalty, someone's got. Catimis, is it?
Catimis, yeah.
3 second penalty. Yeah, cut the corner. Fuzzer's rejoined.
Well, if I'm not mistaken.
Lag out again.
Right, okay, I don't know, but we've got cars going 3 abreast into turn 1. We're currently on board with Woods. He's having a look up the inside of Catimis. Catimis runs wide again. Is he going to rejoin safely? Oh, poxy camera angle. There we go. So Catimis has rejoined fairly safely, and he finds himself now in between the sandwich of Woods and Josh McGill. So looks like we've got a few good battles shaping up here. Unfortunately, not too much going on at the front. Yeah, exceeding track limits. Easy to do, unfortunately. That final chicane's pretty hard.
Risk it on the straight. Don't know if he's going to get past J Bob. Ooh, very close.
So there we've got Josh McGill having a look up the inside of Catimis again, side by side. Catimis holds it nicely. Josh on the game, which is highly impressive, especially driving this track in this weather conditions.
You say Josh doesn't use any assist?
No assist at all, so no ABS, no traction control, nothing. So, which in my eyes is hugely impressive.
Yeah, that battle 8th, 9th, 10th.
Yeah.
We've got Dobby coming up as well, catching them.
Oh, is the car losing it? Who's that? Catimis. Is it Catimis? Yeah, he's gone.
Catimis retired, yeah.
There we go. 130R takes another victim. Academy is gone.
It's good that you found out the name of that corner, because
I know.
it's playing a huge thing in this.
It is, isn't it? It's a huge factor, isn't it? As Dobby's coming to the pits, he's got half of his front wing missing, so he's obviously had a bit of a knock somewhere down the line. Ox is coming out the pits, and Ox is onto intermediate tyres. And so is Dobby, so it looks like it could be the right call actually, because the weather is calming down. So it looks like we're going to get a dry end to this race, I think. Which again, strategies.
I assume that Dobby didn't have any damage then. He's gambled.
Well, I was on board with Dobby. I was on board with Dobby, and it looks like from... Am I? Sorry.
That's right.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better now. There's virtual safety car just come out, so...
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I think it looked like he had some front wing damage, but I could be wrong. It might have just been the way that the car was looking at the time.
Pagani's just gone on to the intermediate, so is J-Bob and the skip.
Well, I'd imagine strategy will be quite an important factor in this race as well, because if it dries up and goes onto dry tyres, you know that if you leave it too long or go too early, that can cause a huge effect on your race. So it should be very interesting to see that.
Just wondering when the front races of this Grand Prix are going to go on to the intermediate. They've got to decide quickly.
Yeah.
For the virtual safety car, but
I think it's
George and NO in the pits.
Yeah, I think normally when Jeff gives you a shout and says to you about strategy changes, which I imagine some of them would have had that advice now. Hence why they're going on to winters. Yeah, there we go. So we've got George Ellis and Fuzzer into the pits, as well as NR and B Smooth. Yeah, most of the guys are in the pits now, so...
One of them has stayed out, yeah, Woods has stayed out.
Woods has stayed out, so... Unless Woods can pull something out of his bottom, he looks like he might have made a bit of a poor call here, because you know if you start one lap too long, that can cause you so much time.
Just having a quick look at Club Star, seeing if he's going to come in, because he's the only one who hasn't come in apart from those two. Yeah, he's coming in for intermediates.
Yeah, I'm going to go on board with John, because he's getting pretty close to the back of Josh McGill. We've got Fuzzer, who's pretty close to George Ellis as well. So I don't know whether you want to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, just looking at Fuzzer now.
Oh, and Ox is very close behind as well, so... I'm just going to keep an eye on George Ellis's time to Napoli, because he's obviously on the inters. Yeah, that time's coming pretty quickly, so I imagine that those guys have made a bit of their call. I think they're probably going to pit and come out around where Dobby is, maybe just in between Dobby and Pagani. That's what I think. So could be a bit of a poor choice from those guys there. They're taking a risk, which I mean you've always got to appreciate.
Yeah. I wonder if Dobby knows that these two are on wet tyres, because they're going to come out near him. There'll be an extra couple of places you can try and get.
I think by the looks of things, I think he'll be pretty comfortable in going past them. I think Woods and Napoli will pit, and then they'll come out behind Dobby and in front of Pagani. But that would be my immediate guess.
Napoli's just pit, so.
Yeah, there we go. Ox, that's the fastest lap.
On the wet tyre.
Has Woods stayed out?
I think he has stayed out, yeah, because he's still winning and he's still on the wet tyre.
What are you doing, Woods? No idea. Then again, I'm sure everybody else that's in the race that has their microphone plugged in will know exactly what Woods is doing. Let's just say Woods isn't the most discreet of people.
Napoli. Ooh, Dobby just got past him.
Right, here we go. So George Ellis is going to have a look up the inside of Woods now. Is Woods going to put up much of a fight? But now Woods has now gone off. And Fuzz is now stuck behind him. So Fuzz needs to get past Woods as quickly as possible. Otherwise George Ellis is going to break away pretty quickly. Fuzz is lagging a little bit.
So close to contact, yeah.
Yeah, I've got on board with Fuzzer at the moment. Yeah, Fuzzer's lagging quite a lot.
The Ox is there. on the outside, was it?
Yeah, so we've got past him.
Oh,
Whoa!
Woods is out. Yeah, lost the wheel.
Oh dear, look like lag. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so Woodsy is gone. Fuzz has lagged out again. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh well.
So I think Ox is going to be able to overtake by the time Buzzer gets back.
Yeah, but Ox is getting through. Ox is currently inserted inside Fuzzer.
Nice.
No
George,
pun intended.
fastest lap.
Yeah, Fuzzer's rejoined yet. So, but the question is, can he get back in his car before NR overtakes him? That's going to be critical. Fuzzer's lagged out again. Look, Fuzzer's having no luck here. And Dobby.
Another virtual safety car.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, another virtual safety car. So, Fuzzer again is a lucky man. Or boy, or woman.
He's going to lose this position, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he will. He's not rejoined the session yet, unfortunately. So, I think as soon as those lights go green, NR's going to go for it. But then again, there's a bit of a gap to the rest of the guys. So, Fuzzer has rejoined. Is he going to get back into his car again before the virtual safety car ends? That virtual safety car stayed out. There we go, so they are lights out again now. So can Fuzzer get back into his car? I think no he's not, he's still ghosting. We have yellows in sector 2 and 3.
He hasn't rejoined yet, has he?
No, he's not. Oh, I think he's back in it now, is he? Yeah, Fuzzer's back in his car now, so he's lost out and he's now going to be under some half pressure from Beast Move. So all the time this is happening, this is Exley finds himself quite a way behind. If we look at from the leader, Dobby is 25 seconds away from the leader as we currently stand.
Well, if Fuzzer, let's put a scenario out there, if Fuzzer has some kind of wing damage, that's the amount of time of a pit stop, isn't it, for wing damage, so...
Yeah, very true. Very true.
You never know in this weather.
No, that's a very good point. So now the guys are on intermediate tyres. We have 16 laps left of the Grand Prix. I wonder how long it's going to be before that weather completely clears up and we can go on to dries. Okay.
Let's have a look at Dobby at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just
got Josh in his sights.
Yeah, he's getting very close, and we've got Josh McGill, who is a similar distance behind John. So we've got a nice little battle going on here. And they've got Napoleon not far behind, so a little train forming.
Only 4 retirements so far, lap 11 in the wet. It's pretty good going, I think.
Yeah, it's not too bad, as we see Josh McGill getting very close to the back of John. John is an excellent wheel-to-wheel racer, so he's certainly not going to be any slouch to get past. We've got Josh in the slipstream with John. Is he going to take a look? I don't think he is. John very hesitant going through this little section here, which doesn't surprise me at all given the conditions. So they're going to be very close going into 130R.
George is putting a bit of a gap over Ox at the moment, 5.9 now.
Yeah, Josh getting very close, which is allowing Dobby to catch up. So I think for Josh, he needs to get past John as quickly as possible. Dobby's had a bit of a poor exit there, I think, by the looks of things. I'm going to stay on board with this little battle for the time being. I'm always going to stay on board with the closest battle on track if I can. So yeah, this is fun and spanner in the works. So I wonder how long it is before Fuzzer lags out again. Hopefully it doesn't.
He's lagged out twice, is it so far?
Well, 3 times, yeah. 2 in one sitting.
George has got some pace at the moment. 6.4.
Yeah, just had a message come through on the chat from Wood saying that Fuzzer lagged badly and skipped backwards into his car and it lost him his wheel, which is not good. Right, we have another virtual safety car. So I am now wondering whether this is turning into a bit of a glitch. There's a distinct possibility that that may well be the case.
I think there was a little bit of contact between Josh and John then on the tight left-hander.
Doesn't look like
a
there's
small amount of contact.
Doesn't look like there's got any damage for Josh. John, neither. Do you know how the spectator menu works on the left, on the right? Sorry.
Yes, I'm looking at Josh at the moment.
Yeah, because you can skip from TV pod to broadcast. So if ever you want to look at the wing damage, Josh will have a look around the outside. Bit of a touch.
Yep.
He's going to get the inside line. Held together nicely.
In all of that, George has just been given a 3-second penalty, so it's just as well that he's got a 6.6 second lead.
Yeah. And we have a battle for P2 between Oxhox, NR and Fuzzer. Fuzzer looking like he's on a rampage at the moment. Very close to the back of NR.
Josh is finding it hard. He's just went a little bit wide. He can't get close enough to John at the moment. And now Dobby's all over the back of him.
Yeah, the guys getting very close. NR and Fuzzer are getting extremely close as well. As they're coming down to complete lap 13. Nice consistent driving from these guys, which I would imagine it will stay this way to the end. It does look like the rain is either stopped or it's stopping now. So I reckon around lap 21, 22 we might see some dry tyres. That's going to be my guess. Oh, Fuzz are getting very close.
Josh has just suddenly lost acceleration. I was on board with Napula. Dobby was lining up a captain overtake, but then Josh seemed to lose power. I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay, I didn't realise W got past Josh actually.
Yeah, he was just going to get past him because it seems like Josh had let go of the accelerator on the controller. Not sure what happened there, but that's another place for Dobby.
It certainly is. So he now finds himself only a few behind as Woodsy has left the session. He's currently having his agony aunt rant on the stream chat.
Nice.
And Fuzzer is very close. And we're talking almost contact close. On the back of NR. So actually this is a bit closer than what I expected. I thought we might see some guys with some rather large gaps, but it looks like we have some nice battles on our hands as we approach the I think now we're about halfway through the race.
Jacob just picked up a 3-second penalty and now he's been overtaken by a step right there.
And then yeah, so well
Sorry.
So common mistake. Yeah, so I think Pubstrani gets a 3-second penalty now for multiple warnings. Yeah, Fuzzer certainly looks like he's quicker than NR, but basically, I mean, you might not be aware, but NR, his strategies always seem to be a straight line speed.